The animals that live in the Atacama are snakes, lizards, insects, foxes and hares. But these aren't enough to satisfy the bloodlust of El Chupacabra, a creature that's said to feed exclusively on blood.
The only mammal to feed exclusively on blood, like the chupacabra, is the vampire bat. But it doesn't actually kill its prey. It just takes its fill of blood and leaves. And it's just too small to inflict the kind of wounds that we're finding on victims. Fossil records point to a slightly larger species of vampire bat that once haunted the night skies.
But scientists say it's extinct. Bats have always been a source of fear, due mainly to their nocturnal habits and, of course, Hollywood. But in fact, most bats are not vampires at all. They feed on fruit and insects. So Chupacabra is definitely not a bat.
And besides, many witnesses who claim to have seen this predator say it wasn't of this world. Eyewitnesses describe El Chupacabra between 4 and 6 feet tall, with coarse, dark hair and spikes running down its back. It has long, sharp fangs and 3 claws on each foot. Some describe it as having small wings too. They say it looked like a cross between a kangaroo and something else. But the victims of El Chupacabra reveal something even more peculiar. There are striking similarities between the attacks and feeding methods of El Chupacabra and that of some insects and spiders. Marco Reneso believes the comparison with insects goes even further. Now, you actually know people that have seen Chupacabra and have actually seen it jump from the street to the top of a street post. What is their story?
Several people, including cops, saw this entity and started chasing it and throwing rocks at it, and this entity started jumping, leaving, and then it went up a post and they kept on throwing rocks, and then it came back down the post until it left and got lost.
Now, the only problem I have with this creature being an insect, considering it's about 80 centimetres to a metre, insects have a thick exoskeleton which is used to protect their organs, and a creature that size the exoskeleton would be so heavy, I just don't see how an animal like that would be able to jump those distances.
What it resembles in is the attack, like an insect would attack, but there is no exoskeleton. We have a witness who was attacked by the chupacabras in the northeast territory of our country. He says that he tried to defend himself against the chupacabra by hitting him, and once he hit him, he felt the texture was soft, it was bland, it was like a worm. The body is not like an insect.
They must be quite intelligent creatures.
Yes, indeed. Effectively, after analyzing the places where this predator attacked, the way it attacked, we can see that this animal had some sort of intelligence, some degree of intelligence or wit. Sometimes there were obstacles that would have to be conquered for it to get to its prey. Like you have to remove objects to get into a cage, or even it would open doorknobs. So similar things like that, which obviously led us to believe that this creature has some degree of intelligence.
It seems to prefer the blood of farm animals and pets, as Daniel has discovered at the Montessori School of Ecology in the nearby town of Calama.
The most disturbing incident in these series of attacks was the slaughter of a llama in the school's farmyard.
Senor Juan Vega Espinoza is a science teacher and the school's principal.
Yes, it happened right here inside the cage. I found a llama dead on the ground and a wound from the base of the neck that reached to the heart.
Had the llama been savaged in any way, and was there any damage to the pen?
No, the only injury was the penetrating wound on the neck.
Being a science teacher, Senor Espinoza carried out his own investigation by doing a necropsy on the llama.
We found the liver of the llama was picked, which indicated the blood of the animal had been totally drained out. Very unusual. The liver was found with no blood at all.
Did you find any puncture wounds on the body at all?
Yes, there were bites, from the base of the neck, which connected directly to the heart. The wound was clean and perfect. There was no instrument that could perform such surgery. A knife could have done it, but it wouldn't have been as clean and perfect an incision that the bite that this animal produced.
That's quite remarkable. I can't think of any other mammal besides a vampire bat that feeds on blood, but they only go into the skin about 1/4 of an inch. So from your necropsy findings, what do you think this creature was?
For this creature to suck out the body fluids from its victims, it must possess amazing abilities. And I believe the creature must have very special body parts, like a proboscis, the lack of which I can imagine, that allows it to perform this type of surgery on its victim.
In case you didn't know, a proboscis is a slender organ like a nose, or a sucking instrument, usually only seen in insects. Hard to believe that a mammal could be equipped with such a weapon.
So after examining the animal, do you believe that Chupacabra was responsible for this?
Yes, it could be possible.
And if that is not incredible enough, this trained scientist has seen El Chupacabra himself. Not once, but twice. The first time, he saw it at night on the roof of his house.
It looked like a dog, bird cross. It stood on its 2 really long back legs, and it had a small hand like wings, and it just jumped from rooftop to the other rooftop, like as if it was swinging in the air. I can't explain it. From my biology background, it doesn't correspond to any kind of wildlife known to me. I don't know of any bipedal dogs with wing-type arms that are able to jump from one rooftop to another with a distance of about 18 to 20 feet.
Apart from the way that it looked, was there anything else strange about the creature?
When it jumped, it had like a trail of light, which advanced with the creature. And every time it jumped, you could see this light.